Welcome to episode 2 of the Low Blow Show. My brother, how you doing today?
I'm good,
I
man.
literally just asked
Yeah, right.
the usual. I don't believe I got out of the fucking bed till after 5 something p.m.
Damn.
I I was fucking dead. I don't know if my camera will pick it up, but do you see the marks on my head?
Yep. Well, I see them.
I mean, I hope you do. I paid good money for this camera.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I I was training last night
Mm-hmm.
and we were doing a 90-second spot,
Mm-hmm.
just like, all right, so you're gonna start with this, blah blah blah, takedown into the corner, shoulder tackle, all this. It was like a whole 90-second thing that ended in a roll up, right?
Right.
But one of the spots was like grabbing your opponent's head and smashing it into the turnbuckle, and then
Right.
just bringing them to the next turnbuckle, do it again, bringing them to the third, do it again, and and I think it was my dude John got me so good. Or I mean, not really, like, we're not trying to hurt each other. I think it's just my selling. Like I just drove my own head into the turnbuckle, right? To
Okay.
make it look good. And it just all brushed my whole fucking face. And
Damn.
I didn't realize till I got fucking home. I'm like, my forehead type stinging.
Got turnbuckle burn.
And then I don't know if you could see this bruise here.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
see
even
it.
know I don't know how the fuck that happened. I had something similar last week. We were doing hip tosses and arm drags,
Mm-hmm.
and like again, I didn't notice till I was home, and I had sleeves on the shirt I was wearing, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, like I was changing into my PJs, and I was like, I noticed in the mirror, I was like, what the fuck is this bruise? I'm like, what could this have been? Like I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I assume it was the hip tosses and such because we're hooking each other's arms, but we didn't do that yesterday though. So like
Yeah.
again, I don't know how the fuck this appeared. But yeah, I've been so beat. I didn't wake up till like 4 or something, and then I was just
God
still in bed.
damn. I can't sleep past like noon, so
So it has been some days. Have you listened to the Death of Slim Shady?
I've listened to like not fully 2 times over, but I've listened to it I still haven't gotten like every single detail, but I've listened to it though, front to back though, for sure.
Mm.
For sure.
What's your take on the whole? Is it one of his best albums?
I,
Is it
I'm
just the
not sh
hype?
I'm not sure yet because like I see what he's trying to do. I see the story he's trying to tell and everything. I like that it opens up with Renaissance and it sounds very, very old Slim Shady. Like it
Mm.
sounds like that beginning of the album specifically. I am liking it though. I'm not saying but best shit. I'm not sure. Like you know me. I have to dissect it. I have to really,
Mm.
really have the time to listen to it and everything. So I might just take a long drive one day this week and just fucking like bump it like that and take like mental notes. But no, I'm definitely enjoying it so far and like the back and forth. I mean, it's giving like old school Slim, for a portion of it, which I know is what he meant, and then the arguing. I'm loving the way he what was I gonna say? Did like the interactions with like Slim and Marshall
Mm.
and everything. Like I am liking that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can't pick a favorite just yet. I just love the beginning, the opening. I just love it a
Mm.
lot. You know what I mean? Like, um, what call it? I like listening to it more. Like I'm actually like I'm appreciating and liking Toby even more actually.
Yeah.
And like we've talked about like Big Sean's verse in there and everything too. Like for sure. Trying to think of yo the song towards the end he dedicates to Haley, bro. I tried like
Uh,
not to cry
the
listening to
first
that
one.
shit. Yeah, the first one. I tried not to cry listening to that shit like on the way to work the other day.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, man, still, I mean, look, man, I'm not a big believer like everyone else is about him being like, past his prime and washed up and all that kind of stuff. No, not at all. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But, I think since I want to say since a little before revival, I just feel like he's become like the Tom Brady of hip hop. Everybody just loves to hate him at this
Uh-huh.
point. You know what I'm saying? And
Uh-huh.
not the same way they hated him lyrically before. Like it's a different kind of hate to where it's just like man's this, man's that. Like I know people are loving to hate him now because I just saw somebody review Common's new album and
Uh,
actually use it to try to compare to Eminem. I'm like, since when do y'all give a fuck and compare a Common album? Like, no disrespect, I love Common, I really
uh,
do. I think he's one of the greatest, but you ain't never hear before like, oh, Common released the same week. You know who gonna do what?
uh.
No, nobody does
They
that.
are
Like,
so different.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, ain't nobody, think, oh, well, Common came. Shut up. Nobody said that. None of your friends listening to Common. I'm sorry. I saw that and I rolled my eyes. I was like, come on, bro. Like, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. You weren't listening to Common like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Uh,
come on now. But that's how I knew. You know what I'm saying? People were like, oh, and like I see all the shit all over the internet too. Like, oh, M is, said this, said that, and or like my favorite one is like Gen Z saying absolutely nothing. Eminem, oh, you can't cancel me, and it's just like, bro, this shit left and right. Ever since the Kendrick Drake beef, I see all this
uh,
shit, and I'm just like, bro, just like listen to the music. Or I'm sure you've seen the couple of things here and there, like, oh my god, like M trying to diss Kendrick on this album. It's like, motherfucker, listen. That's your problem.
uh.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't listen, but yeah, overall,
Oh,
I am enjoying it. It's definitely better than Revival. Everything is better than Revival.
uh,
For sure. I saw. I don't think you showed me. I saw somewhere where people were ranking it with like his last couple, like Music to Be Murdered By, and all
mm,
that kind of stuff. And people were like, rating it much higher than Music to Be Murdered By. Again, I have to listen to it a little bit more. I would really want to listen to it in detail because I ain't gonna lie, Music to Be Murdered By, dude, that was like my anthem for months. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's
Music,
so solid.
it was so solid, and I remember my one friend even saying that was one of his best of all time. Like I used to bump that shit, and like when I mean not skip nothing, bro, I wouldn't even skip like Alfred Hitchcock's fucking shit. When he would talk,
Uh,
bro. Like I'm just like that
uh,
shit was just front to back something like I would play like on a fucking, dare I say, fucking spooky ass night on Halloween. You know what I'm saying? When I'm like,
mhm.
it's I don't know. I love Music to Be Murdered By.
My
Death of
thing with
Slim.
that album
Mhm.
is that he definitely got to a point where it's like he's already rapped about the struggles and his
Right,
come up in life and in hip hop. And surely he definitely got to a point where it's like, what do I even rap about anymore?
right.
And I think Music to Be Murdered By is a very solid, just rappity rap album.
Rappity rap.
Because like he's not so much on the grown man type shit, like fucking. A lot of people will say Jay-Z's 444 is that's grown man rap. Like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
um,
That I just want to say something real quick. 4 for 4 was trash. Okay, I'm
what?
sorry, bro. It was not that Magna Carta. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, maybe it's because I'm not. I mean, I love Jay, but like,
Uh,
it's the same thing that happened with the 4 for 4. You know what I'm saying? You had people that was like, but Jay always had that, like, dare I say, that plot armor. You know what I'm saying? Like
uh-huh,
Jay was always like untouchable when it came to bad reviews for some godforsaken reason. You know what I'm saying?
uh-huh,
Because Jay, like him, like everybody else, he don't get no damn special pass for putting out trash. I'm sorry. Now I'm not saying 4 for 4 is actually trash. Like it's a solid 6. But
uh,
I wasn't bumping 4 for 4. I tried
uh.
listening to it and I put that shit away. Like I didn't. I'm sorry. Love you, Jay, but no. But
I mean,
anyways, sorry.
the thing with us, I know we're mature because we can criticize our faves and we can, like I put Eminem at the very top personally. That's my goat. But like I'll admit when he's put out some dog shit.
Revival.
And yeah, and I had this thought recently. AEW had their recent pay-per-view. What was it? Forbidden Door,
Mhm.
and I didn't even know that shit was on because I've barely been following. But I remember I was on Twitter and they're like, "Oh, the show is on," and I'm like, I don't even know what's on the card. And I saw Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy. I'm like, oh, that interests me. I'll tune in. So I was watching Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy, and I had this thought that excuse me, I had this thought after watching AEW Forbidden Door that Zack Sabre Jr. is the Eminem of pro wrestling. Now, hear me out, because I love watching his matches. I love listening to Eminem. And these guys are obviously so good at their craft, right? They're so technical and such masters at what they do in their
Uh-huh.
given field, right?
Uh-huh.
And when I watch a Zack Sabre Jr. match or I listen to an Eminem song, I'm so impressed, right? But sometimes it's gotten to points where I'm like, all right, nigga, I get it. Like, all right, you're nice at this shit. Like, all right, like, I'm watching Zack Sabre Jr. just going from hold to hold to hold, but he doesn't let any hold breathe for 10 seconds. Like, he's just a lot of transitions, and I'm like, all right, this is fire. Like, I like what I'm seeing, but like, all right, I get it. You're nice at this shit. Like, like let things breathe and put some character work in there more so, you know what I mean? Like, I need more
Okay.
story there. And with Eminem, he would have, like, so often he would have the third verse be the fast rap shit, like the beat changes slightly and then he just like raps in double speed, and it's like it just feels like he's trying to impress still. But it's like,
Okay.
bro, we already know you're such a great artist. Like, you don't have to try to impress us
Mm-hmm.
still. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I have the same feeling watching a Zack Sabre Jr. match as I would for so many years listening to Eminem. Because, like, with some songs, like, I believe Rap God, like when he does the fast rap shit in that, it works because, like, he's being cocky and he's mocking, and, like, he starts it off with like some little like he literally says some like bullshit. And so, like, it works in that song because of the arrogance that is the whole song. And, like, with Godzilla, I believe it also works well because that song is just, it's about being a drinking and being a goofball, so he just starts goofing off and just starts rapping faster, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But, like, because the Death of Slim Shady had so much great marketing and I was so hyped for it, I start listening back to Eminem's other albums, right? And I was listening to Music to Be Murdered by Side B, and there's like 6 tracks in a row where it's the third verse beat slightly changes and he just raps fast, fast, fast. Like, and it's like, it's cool for this song here and this song there, but it's like when it's like half this album, like 3 times
Mm-hmm.
in a row, 3 songs in a row, it's like it just, it sounds very copy and pasty,
Nah, I
or
get what
like.
you're saying, yeah.
But so my take on this album when I first listened to it, first of all, this is the first time I've ever listened to an album and I really appreciated the audio engineering and the production of it. Like,
Okay.
and I don't mean just production, like the instruments and the drums, like, the instrumentals. Like, I don't mean production just basically in that sense, but like his voice, like, they totally must have used AI to make him sound younger, like his 99, 20-year-old self, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the track Brand New Dance, like, it literally sounds like 2004, like off the Encore album.
Right.
His voice has matured as he's grown as an adult, but like it really takes you back, like, to this time period in his career, or this time period when this was going on. And a lot of tracks, it is going back and forth between Eminem present day and Slim Shady back then, but it's not so strictly, um I don't want to use the word gimmick, I don't know what other word to use, but it's not so upfront like Guilty Conscience 2, where it's clear these two personalities are going back and forth. But like, what's the second track? Is it Habit or Habits? Like, his voice changes like mid verse, and you got to really listen carefully for like the voice, and you're like, okay, like these 6 lines or these couple bars is Eminem, and then it's Slim Shady. So like you really gotta like pay attention to who is saying what exactly at the moment. Like, that, it requires, I think, a lot of multiple listens. So this was like the first time I'm really like paying attention to the production of it. And I think like so seamlessly it goes from one track to another. Like the beats aren't the same, but like they just go from one to another. Like I didn't even realize it was the next track. You know what I mean?
It really
Or
sounds like a story in like
yeah.
time. You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, what was it? It's like there hasn't there's not a beat on it that I don't like.
Uh,
I know that sounds like weird, but like I mean, there are many albums where like there's at least like one song where like the beat I'm like I fucking hate this. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And like even like cuz to me as much as I'm more of a lyrical guy, like I if the beat is bad, like I can't listen to it. You know, the timing can be right, but like when the actual beat is just like something I feel like you put together, you know, in your garage, you know, but it was like your 5-year
mm,
old brother putting it together. Like I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, see, when it comes to Jay, like 444 Magna Carta, like I a lot of those beats, I was just like, I'm not feeling it. You know what I'm
uh,
saying? You know, even though like I respect the lyrics more, but like the lyrics ain't gonna have much backing to it if like the rhythm is off. You know what I'm saying? Or like shit like that. So I don't
mm,
know. But like this album is just I don't know. I like every single beat on the album. Like I don't know. It's
mm,
just I don't know how he cooked it up, but maybe I do agree in the sense that like it's like a even the beats themselves are like a mishmash of like shit he used to rap to then and then
mm,
raps to now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess I do appreciate the production value as well. Like I like the way it was put together. Like it's definitely I don't know. I don't know how to explain it necessarily, but like I can keep
mm.
listening to it.
And I love that the beats like they have that dark tone to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Relapse, it was very dark in the sense that like I think Stay Wide Awake had like a lot of screeching. It's like
Mm-hmm.
literally sounds like horror movie shit. And you remember the song My Darling? Like it
Yeah.
literally has a chainsaw revving like just
Mm-hmm.
in the background. Like those were the types of things in those instrumentals, and it's like it really gave the serial killer vibe. Like with this album, it has those dark sounds, those dark tones, but it's not so serial killer-y. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even though like it's very clear that like, you know, Slim's trying to kill M instead. Or
Uh,
at least torture him, you know what I mean? But yeah, and it's funny you mentioned Relapse cuz like, you know, he makes fun of the fact that he made Relapse, but like oddly the way Relapse is put together was like very well done
uh,
for what it was cuz it was a very just fucked up album, you know what I mean? And
uh,
like, you know, he's had fucked up albums, but this is like he's fucked up while making a fucked up album. You know what I mean? Like it was just I don't know. Like I enjoy Relapse. You know what I'm saying? Is it like
uh,
his one of his best? No. But it's just like it's I don't know. I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed it. Like you talk about Wide Awake, like as soon as you said it, like that fucking line hit me where he's like fee fi fo fum. Like I was just like, oh shit.
uh,
It's like I was
uh.
about to be lost in the sauce, bro. Like that ass. It's like, oh my
That
gosh.
that that album I hold close to my heart, and I think over the years people have been going back and forth between hating it or calling it one of his best, because definitely the most appropriate criticism of that album is the accents. Like why was
Oh
he
god, it's so annoying.
like it's like I know sometimes you hear a beat and it makes you feel like you should deliver something like this, you know. But I wish he would re-record it and just keep a normal, mature voice.
Right.
But my thing with that album is just the lyricism purely is so elite. Like, you know, it has everything you would look for in literature. Like it's got the metaphors, the similes, the multi-syllable rhymes, the rhymes in the middle, rhymes at the end. Entire lines would rhyme,
Mm,
multi-syllables, the double meanings. Like everything was just so saturated in just lyricism that it's like you have to like tune out the accents, or you know, sometimes it's like I don't want to listen to it because it's like I'm not in the mood to kill nobody. Like I ain't mad at nothing. Like I'm not trying to listen to some 3 a.m. murder them, chopping them up and type. Like I'm not always in that mood. But like,
You got to be in the mood to listen to Medicine Ball for sure. Like it
yeah.
can't just like Medicine Ball can't pop up in on the shuffle and then you're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to be in the mood to listen. I agree, 100% agree. You got to be in the mood to
but
listen to that.
like, but like the lyricism is just so fucking strong throughout that album that it's like it really is what got me into writing and trying to make music. And because when I first listened to it, like I'm trying to understand how the fuck do you put words together. Like it just he makes it sound so easy,
Yeah,
just one after another, rhyme after another. So like I really had to like dissect that thing. And like I'm like I need to figure out how the English language works and how you manipulate it to make it sound this good. But so I that holds a special place in my heart. And you know what's crazy? I only recently I've been bumping Encore front to back, and I've had a greater appreciation for that album. Like people have like for the longest been like, oh, that's one of his weaker ones, and it's like, yeah, like he's admitted like I was on drugs
yeah.
at my worst during that whole time. And for the longest, I've thought Encore was great, like from the beginning till you get to like track 7, and then it falls off a cliff. And then Mockingbird is cool, and then the rest is just yeah.
Oh, I
uh,
love One Shot, Two Shot. Oh my God,
I
I love
haven't
that song.
replayed that one enough, but
Oh,
but I believe that was the very first album I actually bought as a kid.
same
Even
actually.
though surely I was listening to hip hop before that came out, but I think that was the first album I ever bought at Kmart. And since
Damn,
it was like the only CD I owned at the time, like it was just on repeat.
these motherfuckers
But
don't know what a Kmart is.
shit went extinct.
Yeah, facts.
But like when it gets to my first single, it's literally wet farts and like burps in the chorus. And it's just so it's like what the fuck is even going on here? It's just like I understand why people don't look at that album fondly. It's a lot of
But
like
I love Big Weenie though, bro. You know, like I
and
don't
Big
give a fuck.
Weenie like it's a
Pause.
fun it's a fun listen, but also it's just like it's like, bro, what is this? Like this ain't
I know.
serious. You know what I mean? Um, but the website Genius where you get breakdowns of
Yep.
bars and such. Like I was looking at what people had to say about this track or that track, and it's like Big Weenie was like essentially a song towards Benzino, and it's like, oh, he never took him seriously, so like he made a very unserious response. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So now I have a better appreciation for that song, even though he was still admittedly on drugs when he made it. And like Rain Man, I always thought was fucking stupid, but like then I see how somebody broke down like the movie Rain Man, or like, it's like the character's autistic and this and that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Now it makes sense that he's just rapping about nonsense. And at the end, he literally says, I just made a whole song and I ain't say shit.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, this was on purpose to be dumb, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Um, so like it, recently, as I've been replaying it, that album has grown on me, and especially just thinking how it was the first album I bought, I kind of want to rank it higher in my heart now. And the song "Brand New Dance," like it literally has like that 2004 Eminem voice, and it literally sounds like it was ripped off that fucking album.
True.
It's got the fucking horses in the instrumental. It's like, yo, it really sounds like some stupid ass encore shit. But
True.
like it's well done though.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. See, Encore was the first album I bought too, actually, when I was younger. And it's funny because some of the some of the tracks you named are some of my favorite ones off Encore.
uh
You know, Big Weenie, Rain Man, fucking me and my boy used to back in Lakewood. Uh used to always go back and forth with Rain Man all the time. It's funny because like the songs like Big Weenie were fucking stupid, but like
Uh,
they always had like one or two verses in there that just the wordplay was just like, god damn. You know what I'm saying? I was like, cause um what else on there? Fucking I'm trying to remember the one track with Obi Trice. Um oh my god.
spend some time.
Spend some time.
Mm.
That shit was just fucking wild. I was just like, wait, what? Especially when he opened up with his verse and shit. Like I was just like, oh my god. But yeah, I mean, Encore definitely was not, probably one of his greatest, but like one of his most entertaining for
Uh,
sure, for sure.
yeah, sometimes you can admit when something is mid or even ass, but it's
Yeah,
like it's fun to listen to though.
yeah. Like it's not the Eminem show for sure.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Eminem show was like, oh my god, dude, I love the Eminem show. I mean, I don't know any band that didn't like Eminem show, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, Encore's fun.
Um speaking of like first albums that we ever bought, also one of the earliest albums, probably it was probably the second, was John Cena's album.
Of course,
And the thing is like
you
that
fucking Mark, bro.
when when you hear like if you're a non-wrestling fan and you hear John Cena got a rap album, you immediately think, yo, that must be some corny shit. But like, nah, it is so solid. And like, I owned that. And then so of course that was on repeat. And then like once we got older and CDs just weren't the thing anymore, and like everything was digital and such, it's like then I hadn't heard anything off it for so many years, right? And then like one day I come to find out it's on Spotify, and it's like, yo, it's just right there, fucking hello, like let me just listen to it right now.
Right.
So like when I remember first listening to it again as a full grown adult, and I'm like, yo, this is like really solid though. Like it's not a gimmick. Like this ain't like it's not the John Cena you see on TV today, where he's just got the matching wristbands and the colorful hat and T-shirt with his own caricature self on it. Like it's not
Yeah.
it's
Never
not the
give up.
same person. It's not the same person you see on TV now, where he's like a goody two shoes fucking Boy Scout. Like this album is very solid when
I
you
rem-
really listen to it.
I remember the one line that always stuck with me from that album because like my nephew had that album. He's a big
Uh,
John Cena fan too. It was I forget what song it was where he was just like I'm on fire like Apache helicopter. I was just like what?
uh-huh.
It's like, but like
and he
it's
says it like so fierce,
oh my
like he's
god, he
bitchy.
like the voice and everything. He's like I'm on fire like Apache helicopter. I was like oh god damn. I was like shit. I was like this man is serious. This is
uh, and
like
there's that one song where it samples Big L, and it wasn't until I was older and then like I knew who Big L was, and I heard that one Big L freestyle, and I was like, wait a minute, I know these couple lines from that John Cena song, and I'm like, and now I'm older, so I go back and I'm like, oh shit, they sampled that Big L freestyle for this hook. I'm like, yo, like this is real hip hop here. Like like the production is really good. Like that, I personally I am upset that he did not just make another album before going to Hollywood. Like that just made the most sense to me. Like he made, when 2K15 came out, he made like two songs with Wiz Khalifa, and like I thought like he was the one song like his verse I thought was very mid, but like in this other one I thought he had some like really good bars in it. I forget what the one line was, uh but it was like a play on Biz Marquis's name. And I think he says like I'm common on the corner. Like he had a couple bars in there, and it's like, and I'm like, oh, he still got something there. If he would just like focus and be serious on it, like he could make another album and people would rock with it. But he's in movies now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is. I mean, we know the Rock can't rap that good, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, he had that shit with Tech Nine. That shit came out of nowhere.
Like it wasn't like the worst thing I ever heard, but
It really wasn't bad at all, but
No, it
like,
wasn't that bad. No,
but
but
it really just sounded like The Rock having a wrestling promo just
for real,
on
like
a
he was trying to
track.
go. He was trying to be so hard. Like it was.
It's just the fact that that came out of nowhere. It was
Mhm.
like people ain't take it serious.
Man, the shit. And the thing is, he blasts on too. He was like, "It's about fear. It's about." I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, what's it about?
It's about drive. It's about hunger.
Uh, oh shit! like, you know what it sounded like? I'll be honest with you. It sounded like you not knowing your dad was featured on the track. You know what I'm saying? And he comes out like, "Oh shit, that's dad." That's it sounded like your dad was rapping at you. You know what I mean? It was like, or like your friend's dad from down the block was like rapping. It was just
uh,
like, "Oh shit."
he trying to be cool with your friends. So like,
Yeah, exactly. It's like that skit. You ever see that skit from Key and Peele? Where it's like it was I think it's Key is in like college and his mom sends him like a rap video or like a video of like Back from Home, and like it's the beginning is like she's like rapping like little stupid shit about like his socks and this and that, and then she goes into like the hardest fucking song ever, bro. If you
nah.
haven't seen it, you need to watch it, bro. It was hilarious. She becomes like mommy MC or some shit, and she just goes
Uh,
in. Like it's crazy.
you know the most classic one where Jordan Peele is playing Obama and he's dapping up all the
Oh, I
black
love
dudes
that.
and then just giving the most boring ass handshake to the white guys. I don't know if you saw that literally happened recently with Obama. It was like,
Nah.
oh, I gotta find it, but it was like Steph Curry and like some other athletes. Like he was, bro, he dapped them up so hard you heard that shit echo. It was, and and then like I don't know why all these people were in the same room, but it was like some basketball players and then some like politicians, and like he's dapping up Curry and all them, and then he just gives the most boring ass handshake to the white dudes, and people were like, yo, life imitates art.
That is great. That is great. Oh man.
Oh man.
Speaking of John, I was gonna say, like, what are you thinking about him being, gonna retire soon now? He announced that fucking
Oh, John
retirement tour.
Cena.
Yeah.
Damn, yo. Uh, so I mean, I've already mentioned his album and such, and that was my childhood. Like honestly, I don't know who I really got my hip hop love off of first. Like I don't like my earliest hip hop memories are, again, I don't know which came first, but I remember being at my cousin's house and maybe it was like 106 Park was on,
Mhm.
and I don't know if it was like just an Eminem marathon or something, but like I remember cleaning out my closet was playing the music video, and I was so young. I was not grasping the lyrics, I didn't realize how serious and fucked up of a song this was. But like I just remember falling in love with that guitar in the instrumental, and
Okay.
I'm like, what is this? Like I like what I'm hearing. Again, I'm not paying attention to no words. And I just remember in the music video, the mom finds the kid's coloring book. She's looking through the pages and it just says, "Dear mom, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you."
Mhm.
And I just remember looking at that part in the video and just laughing. I'm like, like that's funny. And, and when you really look at the song in the video, it's not fucking funny at all. But but
Especially
then
not
I
now.
remember I remember the very next video that came on was without me, and that shit's goofy, and like he's like cosplaying Robin and shit, and I was like, I'm like as a little kid, I'm looking at this goofy shit, and I'm like, yo, like this is fun to watch, like, and like the saxophone, I'm like, I like what I'm seeing, I like what I'm hearing, I'm like, what is this? Like I gotta know more, and so like, and that's probably what led to me buying Encore. I probably thought that was the Eminem show, but
I got
when I looked at it, but so it's one of my earliest memories discovering and falling in love with hip hop, but also John Cena, like the earliest segment I can remember when I first discovered wrestling. And I didn't just like discover it, but like I was on the bus with Dan and George, and they were talking about SmackDown, and they were talking about John Cena, and I'm like, "What y'all talking about?" And they're like, "Yo, Thursday, tune in to channel 11, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I want to know what you all talking about, So I tuned in. And the first segment I can remember vividly watching was John Cena and JBL having that talking segment where JBL was not allowed to lay a finger on John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And so John Cena was like spray painting his shirt and like pouring water in his hat and just really instigating him and daring him to touch him. And at one point he gets so fierce and he's like I dare you to lay one hand on me and I promise I will unleash hell on you. And I'm watching this and just looking at how intense and like unserious he was at first, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck is the deal here. I don't know what this is about, but I am in here. I am invested. I'm like, this is the shit. I need to see him whoop his ass. And like, I'm like, I gotta keep watching what if this dude strikes back. I'm like, you can't let this dude spray paint your chest like that. Like, what the fuck? Like
paint your chest.
and JBL was that like millionaire fucking bitch asshole, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
John Cena, at least the character he was playing, like he was one of us. He was just some hood dude, just just getting by, some hip hop kid. So like I immediately like that was my guy,
Yeah.
So that's my earliest John Cena memories. But I know you've been watching way longer than I have.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, youngin.
Now, like I'm not technically older than you.
Yeah, right. No, I actually watched live the whole ruthless aggression segment. I watched that live, and that's back when I was like still very naive to wrestling. So like I'm sitting there like Kurt Angle's fucking monster, man. He just over here like tapping dudes out left and right, and he's calling out some dudes. So this is back where I'm just like, oh my god, who gonna come out? Like is it gonna be like Triple H? You gonna be somebody? And then you just see this dude walking down, and he's like bright ass red tights and shit, and I'm just like, yo, who is this? So I'm really believing like, oh, it's just this random dude from the back, like and then like he has that little segment with him, the whole ruthless aggression, and it has like this, and they being that age and everything, like I was really believing like, oh, this dude gonna beat Kurt, you know what I'm saying? Like this random ass bulky white dude is gonna beat Kurt. Like what's going on? And then I just remember, from there on out, like, seeing him every so often, like just different colored tights every so often when he was there. And then like I remember more so knowing a little bit more about Randy Orton at the time than I knew about Cena, because they came in around the same time or whatever. But Orton also was a little more well known because of his family. And then I remember it. It's funny because I remember it happening like in a blink of an eye. Next thing you know, it's here's the Doctor of Thugonomics and everything. And I used to think the dude was so funny. You know what I'm saying? Dude was just rap battling, everybody for no damn reason or whatever. And then I remember, it was like the little that turn from like that to kind of like that Super Cena age. You know what I'm saying? It was the age of he winning every match, using the same 5-4 moves or whatever it is. And I was a pure John Cena hater, man. I was fuck this guy, fuck your camo shorts with your fucking bulldog on your black shirt with the fucking chain. I remember that outfit specifically because I remember it was the road to WrestleMania, and he was champion. Bobby Lashley was ECW champion, and then Batista was World Heavyweight champion. And my boy Taker had to pick one. And I remember sitting there, man, like, and I had that segment where Taker's in the ring looking at all three of them. And I'm just like, yo, beat Cena's ass, bro. Like, I'm like, yo, take him at WrestleMania, beat man's ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting tired of hearing it because, I grew up, with my nephew Anthony, you know what I'm saying? So he was a fucking huge John Cena fan, bro. Like motherfucker was walking around doing the fucking all day, all night, bro. We did our fake wrestling on the trampoline and shit. Motherfucker giving me fucking attitude adjustments. The FUs. Which I still love how he just came up with that one, compared to like Brock Lesnar's F5, it was the FU. But yeah, I remember just sitting there like as a younger being like, yo, fuck Cena. Like, yo, beat his ass, you know what I'm saying? And then he chose Batista, and I was like, oh, whatever. Who's Cena going to face? Then I found out, seen the face in Shawn Michaels, and I'm just like, yo, Shawn beat his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you probably know this at this point growing up, like, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, these are two dudes, like, hey, they ain't gonna lose to these youngins. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And then I remember watching that WrestleMania, and like, the Batista Undertaker match happened, and it's just like, holy shit, bro, that shit was wow. And then
Mm.
the Cena Shawn Michaels match happened, and I was like, bro, this match still going on, dog. It's like, but I was a pure ass hater. But I will admit that when he made his like that comeback at Royal Rumble, you know the one I'm talking about. When he was supposed to be off the shelf for like double that time, and Duke came back, even fucking surprised, bird nose Triple H, and
That
because I
was
remember
uncalled for.
it was the camera angle. I remember him being this like surprised, but I that is one of my favorite reactions to Cena, because I was one of these people that was like, you heard the brrr, and it was like, oh, and everybody was like, oh yeah. But then like you remember like 5 seconds after that, they were like, yeah, no, boo. And it was just
Oh,
like,
yeah, there was
nah.
like they remembered like, oh yeah, we hate this guy.
Yeah.
That's when it's like it became very clear where it was like people don't really hate him. They just
Yeah.
love to hate him.
Exactly. And I
Although
remember
although that ECW crowd, I think it was pure hate though.
that man, if that man would have won, that man would have died. Like I'm convinced. But and then like I remember my oh god, what memory was it? I was just about to say, oh, like I remember I was weaning off the Cena hatred until it was that Raw where The Rock came back and started calling this motherfucker a fruity pebble, and I was like, I'm Team Rock. You know what I mean? Like I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember we watched the WrestleMania at your house, the fucking boots to asses phase and shit like that, and I had the fucking t-shirt on, bro. Like I was full on boots to asses, fuck Cena, Rock all day. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't believe Rock was gonna win. I really did not believe Rock was gonna win, and he hit him, and with that fucking whatchamacallit, I really no, the fucking rock bottom. That's how I beat him, with the rock bottom. And I was just like, yo. But then it was like shortly after that, I was like, oh, seen that dude. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I was one of the OG John Cena haters for sure. Unless he was on the mic. When he was on the mic, bro, that shit was chef's kiss, bro. Like that dude was too good
It's
on
so
the mic,
weird.
bro.
It's so weird. Like I that was my guy, first guy I really got into. So I never hated him, but like, there did come times where he just wasn't my favorite no more. Like when he faced Shawn Michaels, I wanted Shawn Michaels to win because like
Oh,
at that point, like I liked him more,
yeah.
I'm like, they go like my two faves going against each other, and I'm like, I ain't never seen Shawn with the title though. Like I want to see him win.
Right.
And then and I remember this vividly. I remember when they had the rematch like the next month leading up to Backlash.
Yo.
And they literally said this is a WrestleMania rematch. And by that they mean it's just these two guys facing off each other again, the first time being at WrestleMania. But like when they say WrestleMania rematch, I thought it was for the title again.
Yeah.
Like although specifically it was not. But so like I'm watching it, I'm thinking it's for the title, and Shawn wins, right? And I'm like, yo, he won the title. And then like the thing is, at the end, he actually poses with the title, like, but he's just being cocky, right? Like he's not posing with it because he won. He's just being cocky with it, like, yo, this Sunday, like, I'm gonna do it again when the title's on the line. He's just posing with it, but he didn't actually win with it. But like my dumbass thought that match right there was for the title. So the very next day at school, some people didn't see Raw. I was like, yo, did you see what happened last night? They're like, nah. I'm like, yo, Shawn beat Cena for the title. I was saying all this. And they was like, what? No way. And I'm like, yeah. And then like the next Raw, happened. And like, he clearly didn't. Like it was very clear then. And I was like, yo, I just lied to everybody all week that didn't watch Raw last week. I'm like, I said he won, but I guess it wasn't on the line.
Facts.
like I just remember being in class that Tuesday morning saying just hype saying all this shit. But I remember like I started to not like he wasn't my fave anymore because he did change. Like he was just such a goody two shoes fucking Boy Scout, and a lot of his promos was just recapping the show. Like the nigga was the narrator. It was just like this Sunday it's gonna be this guy and this guy for the IC title, and then these women's for the Divas title. And it's like, bro, why are you recapping everything? Like just talk about the dude you gonna fight. Like what is this? And a lot of the never give up shit, and it's like, yeah, it's a nice message, but like it just
Yeah,
seems
nice
so
message.
it just seems so forced. Like I was still like preteen, or I was still so young, and even I'm like, yo, this is like so forced. Like what like it's corny. But like I couldn't bring myself to hate him though entirely, you know what I mean?
Nah, I got
But
you.
I but some things with him just were not working. Like I remember for a period of time, it became like a running joke. Like I used to listen to certain YouTubers eventually recapping the shows, and so like it became like a running joke, like amo- amongst the people I listened to. Like when somebody points something out, and then you start noticing like John Cena would get beat up often by like Randy Orton or somebody, and or like the Nexus, like he would get jumped by a team or a gang of people, and there would never be any other babyface to come and save him or
Nope.
come and help him. Like nobody ever had his back. I'm like, does he have no friends? Like, how good of a guy is he really? Like, I'm
Right?
like, how can I like this guy if the other good guys don't like him? Because clearly nobody got his back. Like, it was just a running gag at a point, which, like today with Cody Rhodes, like he's such a good baby face, and like it's not just like the women and children like it was with Cena, but like dudes love Cody Rhodes. Like adult men love Cody Rhodes because things aren't so forced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like he actually has dudes that watch his back, like Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. Like like they got his back when it comes to certain things. Like he's just a good dude, and it all looks so natural and is presented so organically on TV that you believe it. But like with Cena, a lot of shit was just like forced. Like this is just your poster boy. Take it, you know.
Yeah. I remember I used to be such a Cena hater to the point where like remember every so often I think in storylines like Triple H would come in and beat him in just a one-on-one singles regular
Uh,
ass match. And I remember even on times I didn't catch Raw and I heard that Triple H went one-on-one with him and I heard he won, I would be like so fucking happy, bro. And I was never a Triple H fan unless it's in
uh,
DX. I always hated Triple H. But the fact that I hated him less than Cena to the point where I'm like, "Oh, like Cena's mystery opponent is gonna be Triple H." I'm like, ah, he losing. It's just like that's it. Motherfucker gonna catch a pedigree, he gonna eat it, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I used to get so
uh,
fucking happy. Or I remember the most surprising loss I ever thought for Cena was when it was him, Triple H, and Orton had that triple threat match. It was a 24, I believe it was, WrestleMania
uh,
24. And
uh.
fucking Randy won with the punk kick or whatever. And I remember sitting in my living room being like, wait, for real? Like, I was like, oh, Randy, oh, all right. I was like, Cena ain't win, so all right. Like me and Anthony used to just get into arguments, bro. Arguments about wrestling because he was such a Cena fan and I was such
uh,
a everybody else fan. Like it was just like it was as simple as that. And like we used to even have arguments about like, oh well, Cena never beat Taker clean ever, you know what I'm saying? And it's never gonna
uh,
happen. And like he'd be like, well, but he did beat him though. And I'm like, yeah, with like so with like a chain or like a chair shot or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, besides that though, I mean, all in all, as a former OG Cena hater, um, as a an OG Fruity Pebble hater, I have to say, I don't know. I'm gonna ask you first, man. I mean, where does he rank? I mean, we talk about Eminem all the time, being
mm.
top of the card, dare I say? But where would you put Cena?
you know a lot of old heads be having like the same rankings where it's like it's Hogan, Austin, Rock, Flair, and whoever the fuck is the fifth, Taker. I don't know. Um, and it's like some guys are obvious. They were the face of the company for their time, so
Yeah.
it's like some Mount Rushmores will just never change. But you know, Cena did have a longer run at the top than Stone Cold or Rock did. I mean, Stone Cold had his neck injury. Rock went Hollywood. Cena has been there 20 years. On top
Yeah.
the whole time. So, but like Austin to this day is still selling 316 shirts. Like, ain't nothing sell like it. And and, and when you look at footage from back in the day, people like the amount of signs in the background, like you literally could not even see people. It's just squares of different colors when
True.
you look at the background. Like the way people were so nuts for him, and I don't know, the wrestling was so booming in the 90s and such. Like,
It's the attitude era.
yeah, there's just so many variables like that are unfair to compare in such ways, But Cena, he has his place. Like he has so many bangers, and it was always weird to me when people would like specifically Money in the Bank with CM Punk. That shit starts with "You can't wrestle" chants, and then 40 minutes later, people walking out the arena, yo, that was match of the decade. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like, all right, but like, and he totally did get better. It's like he had a late prime. Like it was like 2011 to like 2016. Like I remember people making jokes like, "Yo, Cena doing indie shit."
Yo,
Like
facts.
he just whipping out moves now. Like what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Like his U.S. title run. Like dude
Some of his best shit.
it was just bangers every week. And you could say Stone Cold was more popular, Hogan was more popular, but like I feel like today some people be low key just as popular, like guys like Cena. You remember that classic prank phone call? Like it became, like, and his name is John Cena. You know what I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about? Like the meme of it, and like every time there's a photo of Cena next to so and so in Hollywood, like even non-wrestling fans are like why are you posting a blank picture?
Oh yeah.
Where is Cena? Like the invisible jokes, and there was the RKO memes and shit. Like people that don't watch wrestling are like in love with the memes and such. Like their popularity is weird and hard to gauge these days.
True.
But you mentioned him on the mic and such, and what's weird is that like so many other people I would say are better at promos, like better at talking shit. You know what I mean? Like Rock and CM Punk and Austin are probably better at gaining your interest and such. But like whenever it came to like that 1-to-1 back and forth shit talk, like when you really think about it, has anybody really beated Cena? Like whenever
Ask
it was like
ask ask Roman.
like yeah, like whenever it was a one-on-one like contract signing, it was like Cena and AJ Styles, or like Cena and Punk, or like Cena and Rock. There was anytime it was a one-on-one and Cena got serious, like he put that fruity pebble shit down, and he was like, and like they blurred the lines a little. I don't know one time he ever really got cooked. You know what I mean?
The
Like ever.
see, to me, it's if I'm talking about, if I'm ranking, we'll say like opponents against Cena that had the best shot at it with him was, I mean, one is Punk for
Uh,
sure. You know what I'm saying? Because Punk, especially Summer of Punk. You know what I'm saying? That Punk was untouchable. Like, I don't care who you were, and even against Cena,
uh,
he was untouchable. Like Punk, I can't say ever cooked Cena, but Cena never cooked Punk. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like
right.
it was that. The Rock is second. You know what I'm saying? The Rock is The Rock. You know what I mean? Like, and their promo battles were legendary. You know what I'm saying? But as a Rock fan, I can't sit here confidently say that The Rock cooked Cena. And I'll
Uh,
tell you why. I'll tell you the exact promo where, as a Rock fan, I got fucking scared. is when Cena fucking ran out and pointed out The Rock's notes on his wrist. I was
Oh,
like, game over. I was like, that's it, Rock. I love you, but
that was the
rookie
Meet the
mistake.
Grams bomb.
That was the meet the grant. Like it was it. That was it. Like there was no coming back from that. And I'm gonna say one more thing on that. Cena cooked him for that. But I believe there would have been only one other man that could have cooked him more on the notes, and that is CM Punk. Because
Mm,
I feel like Cena did it in a way that like yes, he blurred the lines, and even though we found out now it was very
mm.
real at that time. Cena, Cena literally took that one Jenga piece out that crumbled the whole fucking tower. That's what he did. I believe if it was Punk, Punk would have literally took that and ran with it a little more. You know what I'm saying? And
You
really
mean
took
if you mean if Punk was the one with the notes, or
no. If Punk was the one,
that
I,
pointed it out?
yeah, pointed it out.
Uh,
Like Punk would have twisted it in a way that somehow came back to like Rock's family or some shit. You know what I'm saying? That's that territory that like I feel like Punk is one of
you
the
kids
few.
always cheat on tests,
Yeah,
Dwayne.
yeah, exactly. Like it'll be some weird fucking like because it remind because I'll reference the whole promo shit with what was it? Anytime, especially Summer of Punk when Punk was talking to Vince, or if Punk was talking to like Triple
Mm,
H, especially Triple H and fucking Kevin Nash, Diesel, whatever the fuck you want to call his big ass, like that those promo battles was just prime, just chef's kiss. Fucking,
uh,
I sat there, pipe bomb aside, was just like, bro, like. And there was times Punk was promo battling with people where I was just like, yo, Punk, just leave him alone. Like, just leave the man alone. But let me go back to Cena. That's when I knew, like, the Jenga game was over. That's when I knew, even as a Rock fan, I'm like, I'm sorry, bro, you number two. Like, I'm sorry. Like, Cena proved to me that night. I mean, mind you, is it something we all could have, like, picked up on and took a dig at? But it was the way he did it. It was the
mm.
way he did it. And, like, looked The Rock dead in his fucking face afterwards. And The Rock was just, like, sweating harder. I swear to God. And remember we joked that year too that The Rock thrives on sweat. Like that man sweats like nobody's business. That man burns calories on top of burning calories, like with sweats. And like I swear to you, if you watch that shit back and you hear Cena say what he says, and then you look at The Rock's fucking like right here down to his forehead, I swear to God that after he looks him in the eye and says that, there's an extra bead of sweat that just comes down in between his eyes, and I'm just like, that's it. Man, sweat him. That's it. He did it. Cena did it. Game's over. He beat the final boss. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's on to the the final round of the Mortal Kombat tournament. Like that's it. You know what I mean?
he was in his final form yet. That was like Frieza's second form. It wasn't
Yeah.
until 2024 where Rock became that muscular Frieza and shit.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I mean, Cena to me, it's funny because like you compared like the popularity of like the Stone Cold, The Rock. I even throw up there you like you said Ric Flair, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan. He's a racist. That don't matter. But like Cena to me, like his popularity did what few others' popularity was like or did I should say like and the people in that category is John Cena, Stone Cold, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. Those are the five that like transcended the business. You know what I'm saying? But Cena did it different than The Rock. Like The Rock was big, but the like not everybody knew The Rock until Rock went to Hollywood.
Mm,
That's when everybody finally knew, oh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like everybody knew The Rock. They knew him, because wrestling was what it was at the time. But like everybody then knew The Rock from like, oh, he's the dude that did Walking Tall and The Rundown and movies from there on,
mm,
The Tooth Fairy. Um, but Cena did that without leaving wrestling yet. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Cena had already started doing that before leaving wrestling, and very few have done that, such as Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? They were two that did that before I mean, Hulk Hogan did his movies or whatever, but like still, wrestling at that time was like you were either watching sports or you were watching wrestling. You either knew Dan Marino or you knew Bruno Sammartino, and I didn't mean to rhyme that. Bars, no. But the other one being Stone Cold. Like Stone Cold was the purist at it. You know what I'm saying? Stone Cold like had his movie deals, but he didn't do a movie until what, the fucking Condemned? Like
Uh-huh.
that was like way later on when that was like before his walkout from the Brock Lesnar shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Uh-huh.
like Stone Cold was the purest of them to do it, but like Cena to me, he transcended wrestling. He transcended sports entertainment. I think he transcended. I mean, the man has the most Make a Wish wishes, bro. Like,
Mm.
and not just out of any wrestler, any athlete, any person,
Artist,
artist.
celebrity.
Yeah, he has just the most. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
do you understand like what that means? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it's just like Cena to me, if you're considering popularity, if you're considering merch sales, you're considering like everything all in one package, like it's hard to say that pound for pound he's not the greatest of all time.
Mm.
Mind you, OG hater. Um so it's just, to me it's still a toss up between him and Stone Cold. Like those are the two that are forever at the top. Like I love Rock. I've always loved The Rock. You know what I'm saying? I love Taker. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking me purist sports entertainment guy from day one, then I'll give it, Taker. But it's just overall everything. It's Cena and Stone Cold. I still would have loved to see that promo battle
Uh-huh.
because you want to talk about somebody that's untouchable. Tell me one person that cooks Stone Cold. You can't.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Because Stone Cold, no matter who you were as a character, his personality didn't let you get to him like that. You couldn't. You couldn't touch Stone Cold like that. Only one that came close was The Rock. That was it.
Mm.
And because their chemistry was just fire. You know what I mean? But yeah, Cena is two, if not one, in my book. He has to be. I mean, pure respect wise and everything, he has to be. I mean, he's a guy who I think if he retires and for some reason came back to the business in the sense of writing or putting together some of the shows, I think he'd be phenomenal at it. I mean, and we see what
Mm.
Triple H does, but Triple H has been a mind in the business for a very long time. He slept with the boss's daughter to get there, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I mean, Cena, I gotta give him his flowers. I mean,
Mm.
he turned a hater like me into somebody that just gives him a thumbs up now. And it's like, yeah, he's like, you made the reference before of like the Eminem of wrestling with
Mm.
Sabre Jr. with which I do disagree with. We'll talk about that in the next pod. Is to me, Cena is the LeBron of wrestling,
Uh-huh.
hands down. Like he's proven to be the greatest of all time. You still don't want to admit he's the greatest of all time because your Jordan is stone cold. You know what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying?
And
That's the talk right there. You know what I mean?
and
So
people do be having those conversations where it's like, oh, Jordan's the greatest of all time, but it's like the overall athlete of that time period is not what the athletes are today. So it's like, would Jordan even be who he was in today's
right,
realm of athletes?
right. But you
Like
don't want to get into that
would
debate anyway.
Cena,
Trust me.
would Cena, like I've seen those conversations. Would Cena have been as big if he was mixed into that Attitude Era roster? Like, would
hmm
he blow up the same way with that
Which
crowd of
he was
the locker
technically
room?
the tail end. They call it ruthless aggression, but it was
Mm.
basically the attitude era, in my opinion. But yeah, yeah, and that's the thing that talk that like Stone Cold was the Michael Jordan, right?
Mm.
Or some can say Hulk Hogan, but no. So Stone Cold was the Michael Jordan, LeBron being the John Cena, The Rock being like the Larry Bird. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it comes
Mm.
down to, and Magic Johnson being like the Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean? And Ric Flair being like the we'll say Ric Flair's like the Bill Russell. You know what I'm saying? He has the most titles. And he's gonna always be talked about up there because he was one of the greatest. He has the rings and bling to show it. You know what I'm saying? But is he the best? You know what I mean? He's like top 5, top 6. You know what I mean? Like Flair's gonna always get his flowers, gonna get his respect for what he did because, outside of all the flashiness and the woos and all that kind of shit, man could wrestle. Like man could wrestle. You know what I mean? Like man still trying to wrestle. Like it's just, I emphasis trying because the man had a heart attack during one of his matches. Like, but yeah, I mean, you gotta give Cena his colorful flowers. You have to. So
A flower every color of every shirt he's had.
never give up on them flowers. Never.
Yeah. So we've talked about greatest of all time, talked about albums and such. I wanted to talk to you about these 100 best albums of all time that Apple Music has put out. It's probably been a month or so since they've put this shit out by now. But so they started putting these out 10 per day from 100 to 1. And I could never find anywhere where it said like the criteria exactly, or if an artist would be featured more than once. But right off the bat, it features every type of genre, and surely it's all English. But given who I follow on Twitter, most of the conversation was of the hip hop albums and where they ranked amongst one another. And I know we talk hip hop mainly whenever we talk music, but I know obviously you listen to other shit. And I know you've actually been to concerts more than I have, even if you were forced by an ex to somebody you ain't really listened to like that. But I feel like we could go through this rather fast because it is fucking 100. We don't need to dwell on so much. I figured we could go through it. Stop me if you've heard. I mean, we go and stop and talk about the hip hop stuff, but if there's other artists you're familiar with or like you've actually heard their album, stop me at any point. Or if like you've been to their concerts.
Right, you can skip. Go
ahead. Body Talk by Robin.
I never heard of it.
Delaying. What the fuck? Oh, I gotta actually scroll. Why didn't the arrow work?
That's like
Hotel California by Eagles.
Okay, I mean classic Eagles, classic Hotel California, classic. I mean classic band, solid album. Okay, agreed.
I am not familiar with them at all.
Really? You've heard the Eagles? Trust me, you have.
Hotel
California literally is one of their songs. So, it's like soft rock, I would say.
Yeah. Astro World.
I don't listen to Travis like that, man. Maybe I'm too much of an old head, but like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I've heard nothing but great things, even from old heads who speak of Travis. I know he puts together great music. I know some people that even put him one of the greatest of all time already. So,
damn, really?
I couldn't speak on Astro World though. I can't personally speak on it. So,
yeah, he's one of the new generation guys where I don't fuck with it, but like just seeing this, even if it is way at 98, just seeing that this makes the list makes me interested to check it out. Because I'm like, oh, maybe I have just been an old head judgmental and maybe I should check out this music. I don't know, but
you judgmental? Nah.
but like just the fact that it's on this list, even if it is at 98 or so, like it interests me. It's like, oh, maybe I should check this out. And maybe I'll come to find out like, oh, I've been missing out on this type of sound of today. Rage Against the Machine.
I don't listen to enough Rage. A couple songs I have heard. I do love Rage Against the Machine, but I could not speak. I think this is their first album, right? The self-titled. Yeah, can't speak too much of them, but love their sound. So.
Yeah, what are they? Punk rock?
Yeah, they're more punk. Yeah, I would say.
I fuck with punk rock. Like usually, they've always got a message,
especially Rage. Rage always does. You would like Rage.
Yeah, I'm sure I've heard a couple things of theirs here and there, and I'm sure I've liked everything I've heard, even if it wasn't much. Lord. I only know the one song, I think Royals.
Yeah. That's really it.
I mean, I'm actually sick of that song because it plays in the mall every time you're there.
Yeah, I'm so.
it's just one of those that's just overplayed. But one of my coworkers was really going on about her, like yeah, she's amazing, and I believe her, but I only
Not my
know that
cup of
one
tea.
song that I'm sick of.
Yeah, facts.
Confessions.
Ooh. Oh my God. If I can't sit here and lie to you and say that like at least once a day I don't bump Confessions Part 2.
Uh,
Bro, this motherfucker made a whole album literally confessing his fuck ups. Like that come on, man. I don't care if nah, I'm not gonna go there. No Diddy. But we can go to the next. I don't care what Diddy
my,
did to you.
man, damn. My thing is like, I always grew up a hip hop head for the most part, and even with hip hop, I've always loved the lyrical shit more so. Like I didn't grow up on R&B. I could never get into R&B, and I guess it's just the way I grew up. Like I was the shy kid. Like I ain't really talk to girls so much. So it's like I could never relate to R&B. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't relate to the shit. I couldn't really feel it. So like I just wasn't an R&B person. But like I remember like I looked at the track list and I'm like, wait a minute, I do know all these. Like,
Oh, you do. You know the whole album. Trust me on that one.
yeah. I was like, I remember these were all hits on the radio. I'm like, and I'm like, dang, these were all on the same album though.
Yeah, bro.
And as an adult, like I've had my times where I'm like, oh, let me put on some early 2000s playlist, just for the nostalgia. And like a lot of R&B would come on, and being an adult now, hearing some early 2000s R&B, it's like the sounds are familiar, right? But I never really listened to them. And so I'm like, damn, like I've really been missing out. Like I really fuck with this, and like I feel it now. Like I really be on some R&B kicks lately, but I still need to like really get up on it and study. A lot of people
Not good.
a lot of people were really like going nuts that this is like at 95 though. They're like, yo, this is way fucking higher than a 95.
Agreed. This shit gotta be top. I mean, it's hard to say. There's so many genres and so many great artists out there in different genres and shit. But like, yeah, I mean, if depending on what R&B artists we're gonna see, it definitely should be higher because this is, Confessions is that grown man cry music, dog. Like that is the grown man sad boy hours, bro. That's what Confessions is, bro. I don't care. Like that shit is so good.
I gotta sit down and pay attention to it all.
Yes, you do.
Burial.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, the silence said enough. Solange.
What? You ain't B. Get out here. No, I'm playing.
Flower Boy.
Oh, Flower Boy. Okay. So I literally stopped listening to Tyler right before Flower Boy, and not because I got tired of him, nothing like that. I just didn't get around to listening to other shit such as Flower Boy, and I heard Flower Boy was fucking like really good. I think a lot of other people said that Flower Boy is when he really like had that flip and that takeoff and shit like that. Because I love old like fucking stupid ass Tyler. Like I love that shit. I always thought he was talented for sure. But Flower Boy I never gave a full on good enough listen to judge it. But I've heard nothing but great things about Flower Boy. So
George Michael.
Shit. I only think about that one song, you know what I'm saying, with that shit in the background and the that porno shit. Yeah, that's my shit. Wham. No.
AC/DC.
Back in Black. Classic album. Great album. I mean, it just speaks for itself. I mean, great album.
Yeah, I know you definitely know more rock than I do.
Yes.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, one of the greatest artists of our time, let's be honest. I don't love Lady Gaga, but I like Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga's a guilty pleasure.
She don't miss. She don't miss. I don't care what any grown man say. She don't miss. I'll be honest with you.
I'm a grown man. I'll admit that Lady Gaga got some hits that I will replay.
Dead ass, bro. Bad Romance? That's my shit.
Yo, dead ass.
Oh. Nina Simone. A little before my time. I can't speak too much to that. Massive Attack. I'm sure it was pretty big. That's fine. Next.
Mary J.
Oh,
Blige.
I love Mary J. I can't sit here and say I've listened to a lot of Mary J, but every song from Mary J I love. Like I love
Mhm,
beautiful voice. I love Mary J's voice. My Life though, I've heard a lot of good things about My Life. It's not an album I've ever really listened to, but I love Mary J. So
mhm. Same. Casey
oh, oh
Musgraves.
she's newer, isn't she? I think she
I
like
I,
came out a couple years ago, I believe.
I know nothing of her.
Oh, I'm sure she sound great. All right.
Doggy
Oh,
style.
Doggy Style. Oh my God. Fucking Gin and Juice was forever stuck in my head. Gin and Juice forever stuck in my head. Love Doggy Style. I can't say I listened to it that much in depth. I mean, a little before my time as well. But
Uh,
yeah, I mean, it's.
I've only ever heard the album once in full,
Mhm.
just because it's like, oh, if you love hip hop, you got to do your homework, and it's like, all right, like, so I've listened to the album once. I don't even know how long ago. Maybe I should.
Yeah, it's been a
I,
minute.
I definitely, I definitely don't listen to Snoop almost at all, really.
But
Like,
really, I love Snoop. I love
yeah,
Snoop.
I mean,
So
I do have a lot of songs of his, like here and there, but it's like haven't really checked his albums though. You know what I mean?
nah, that's fair. That's honestly fair.
It's weird. It's like Snoop has transcended beyond rap. Like he's just a celebrity that raps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Snoop is just Snoop. Like it's just yeah, it's
He,
true.
he's a household name amongst people that never listen to rap music. Like
True.
he just does everything. Like people make the jokes of the side missions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. He does everything. Him and Shaq just do everything.
Uh, Patti Smith.
Patti Smith. Oh my God, I don't listen to Patti Smith like that, man. I don't know. I feel like
You know who she is?
I've I, I've heard of Patti Smith. I can't name anything right now, and I'm sure it's gonna be one of them things I can't name, but Kate will name like that. So I don't. I mean, I'm trying to
Uh,
embarrass myself.
Number 82.
See, I give this shit 9 stars. No. Uh, I'm sure many men would think the same way. We got that one.
This guy.
Nah, one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time, hands down.
A lot of people on my Twitter feed were like, 82, what the fuck?
Oh, that should be higher
Like,
for sure.
yeah. But first of all, it's like, well, I gotta see what rap albums are put above this because 82 is
Yeah.
nuts. And I know this is all genres really. And there's gonna be stuff here that everybody certainly hasn't listened to. Like, there's no way any one person has heard all 100 albums on this list, right?
Nah, of course, right.
So it's like, I gotta see what they rank above this, but also like my first thought when I saw this at 82 was, well, the Massacre didn't make the list.
Yo, dead ass, because like I love the Massacre. Like it's not Get Rich or Die Trying. So
Yeah. My thing is, it's like, I think the Massacre is great, but it's like when you start off with an album like Get Rich or Die Trying, it's like there's just no top in it when you start
no,
off with this. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. That's why I consider one of the greatest rap albums of all time because his debut album is just that good. You know what I'm saying?
uh-huh.
Like that's like it's and no matter what artist you are, whether you're like rock, hip hop, whatever. Like when your debut album is considered your best album of all time, that just
Mhm.
that means you're never gonna top that one ever. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how it's just man was great since he entered. So
It's like he be in GOAT conversations really just because of this one album.
dead ass, man.
And like the mixtape that he first put out after getting shot, like those are like just those projects alone just put him up there.
Oh yeah, he's that good.
You know what I mean? Neil Young.
I mean that's more to ask my mom about. As Neil Young, I didn't, I see. It's just one of them times now. I'm gonna see some of these albums and be like, I know some of this music. I know if we was on YouTube or some shit, somebody would like fucking comment out the ass about like how the fuck you not know, you know what I mean? So, but we're mostly hip hop heads, so it is
Yeah,
what
you
it is.
can. Yeah, you definitely know more names than I do.
No.
The Marshall Mathers
Oh,
LP.
this white boy, he no. I mean, yeah, I love the Marshall Mathers LP, man. I mean, for sure, we could talk all day about Eminem, but
We've talked enough about M.
yeah, I was gonna say we could.
My thing with this is I personally would rank the Eminem Show above Marshall Mathers LP,
Okay,
but ever so slightly though,
that's fair enough.
And I think with this album in particular, you really had to you really have to know the time period. Like I feel like it is so great because of the time period and everything that was happening when this came out. Like when Eminem put Houdini out recently, his most recent single before his latest album, the numbers on that shit blew up. And then like you would see all his albums were like back in the top of the charts again. And it's like clearly maybe some Gen Z heard Houdini and they're like, oh, let me check out his early catalog, or let me get more familiar because like I love this song so much. So like clearly they went back and listened to his old stuff. But like there's good stuff in here, and like the stuff he's saying, he's dropping truth bombs and such, right?
Yeah,
But I feel like you really have to know the context of the time in which this was put out to really appreciate it and really know how good it is. Because it's you remember it was like he was saying all this homophobic shit, and I mean that's just what rap was at the time. But like you remember like Fox News wanted his fucking head on a stick. Like they were
yeah,
like all the Republicans were trying to literally censor him. They had picket signs outside his studio. They're like, this is not music. Our children shouldn't be listening to this. And so he was coming out there like, yo, like be a parent,
yeah.
make sure they don't buy my shit. Like it's on you. Like fuck you.
Yes, on your choice.
I feel like you really have to know full context of society, like when this album came out, to like really appreciate the art of it.
Right, I agree. Good album, love it.
But again, number 80 though, so like you got to see what they really put above this.
For real.
Lana Del Rey.
I don't listen to Lana like that.
Elton John.
Elton John. Oh, I love Elton. I'm not gonna lie. Elton's a very secret pleasure of mine. Man, that man makes phenomenal music. I love Elton John. My love for Elton John probably grew once I saw Rocket Man. A great movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, you did see that.
Yeah, great movie. What's his name? Who's in it? Does a great job. Actually sings his own songs too. Get phenomenal. Elton John is one of the greatest musical artists of all time. That man, I still believe to this day, if he ever got elected, like I don't know, some kind of president or whatever, he would bring world peace. It would happen.
I don't know so much of his stuff, but I don't know if I just had like some Spotify playlist on, and his song, is it Still Standing? Like that came on.
So
and I discovered that song, a couple years ago. My heartbreak and all that. Like, so like that's when I first heard this song, and like that was a song where it's like I discovered it just at the right time when I needed it. You know what I mean?
That's what he meant, Trust me.
I'm like this is on my feel good playlist. Like I love that song so much. I think I should really get more familiar with his catalog.
Yeah, Elton's great, honestly.
And I do love, to circle back to Eminem, he had that performance of Stan at the Grammys with Elton, and that version, like just, Elton was rocking that piano.
Great.
Like,
great.
I love that version. Madonna.
I mean, she speaks for itself. Like, I mean, I'm sure. Great album. I mean,
like you said earlier, I'm sure your mom got more to say.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm more Lady Gaga than I am Madonna. Sorry.
Bad Bunny. On that. Yeah, I like the fact that this has made the list because Bad Bunny has blown up so much outside of Latinos, and a lot of like Black people I know be listening to just Bad Bunny, or like old school reggaeton. So just seeing this on here, I was curious to see what other, like, if Daddy Yankee albums might have made the list. But Bad Bunny, like, he started to show up in WWE and do some things, and a lot of wrestling nerds that don't know celebrities or Spanish music, they're like, who the fuck is this guy? But like, you then see the numbers, and it's like, this is who he is, though. 80 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Like, it's like, oh, okay. Like, he's a big deal, apparently, like he really be pulling numbers. Like, he is a fucking star. And it's really because of his appearances in WWE, where where even me as a Hispanic, I'm like, I got to get more familiar with who the fuck this guy is, and I've grown to love his stuff.
I mean, I've heard nothing but great things about Bad Bunny. I mean, I've heard just a couple songs, whether it be from you showing me, or I hear everywhere else, where I'm just like, it's like, dude, just know how to move people, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, let's fast forward through this shit. We're only at 75. Missy Elliott,
Ah,
super duper fly.
I love Missy Elliott.
9 Inch Nails.
Okay, I don't listen to much now. That's more Case territory, but
Word.
yeah.
Steely Dan. SZA.
Oh, really? Up this far already? Damn. She over here beating out fucking Eminem and 50. Like, okay. Who's
Yeah, I
this?
didn't never put it like that. Kraftwerk.
Sure.
NWA.
Okay.
Straight
Alright.
out of Compton.
I mean, well, I guess you have to hold it up into like hip hop royalty, right? I mean, at this point, I mean, I shouldn't say at this point, way before this, but I mean,
yeah. Before they tweeted these 10, I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if this album would make the list. Like, I don't think I ever fully heard this album. But like, you know, if there was like a top 100 songs or just the top 100 rap songs, you know, Fuck the Police would be way up there.
of course.
So I'm like, was the rest of the album that notorious though? Like, I don't know. But like, I mean, they put it this much higher than the other two, right?
True. Master of Puppets, great album. Great album. Metallica, solid band. I used to not be the biggest fan of Metallica back in the day, until I really gave them a listen and everything. I love Metallica. My favorite song, I forget if it's not a Master of Puppets. What's it? Enter Sandman. No, it's not a Master of Puppets, but also great album. So they make. I mean, every album from Metallica has been pretty solid.
The Strokes.
I don't listen to Strokes like that.
I only know my own Strokes.
Wow. All right. I don't know who the hell that is.
The Smiths.
I know the Smiths, like here and there. But can't really rate the album like that. Yo, love this album. I love De La Soul.
Oh, word.
I love De La Soul, bro. Tell me how like this album didn't come to Spotify till like I think it was this year or late last year. But this album been out though. Yeah, I love De La Soul, man.
I know nothing of this, but I've been seeing like this brought up more often recently.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because
I
it's
mean, I
finally on Spotify.
guess I guess I got to do some homework on that.
Yeah.
Erykah Badu.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, she's a legend. You know what I mean? I listen to Erica like that, but yeah. Excuse me.
The Jimi Hendrix Experience.
I mean, like Jimmy. I know. I was gonna say Hulk Hogan, no Jimmy. So.
Tupac.
mean,
All Eyes on Me.
great album. This forget, is this the album with the diss on it? It's all it is All Eyes on Me, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is.
As a hip hop head, I've really got to do my homework on Tupac.
Yeah, you do. Pac is Pac's great.
I only ever bought his first album, Tupacalypse Now.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't continue to check out his other stuff. But you know, I know like Dear Mama or Hit 'Em Up. But
of course.
yeah, I gotta listen to more Pac. Sade or Sade? I don't know.
I don't know.
The Velvet Underground and Nico.
I don't know the Velvet Underground or Nico. So.
Arctic Monkeys.
Okay. See, that's another one where it's like more like Kate's forte than me. But I listen to Arctic Monkeys like that. But I enjoy them, so I'm sure they're up on this list for a reason. So.
I probably know one song of theirs.
Oh wait. Oh.
Oasis.
All right. Well, don't show this to Kate either. She loves Oasis. I don't listen to Oasis like that. So.
What genre are they?
They're like I guess soft rock. I would say Oasis.
D'Angelo.
Who the fuck? Who's you?
The Cure.
The Cure again. I don't listen to The Cure too much. That's more her forte. Yeah,
Rihanna.
damn, 55
and
ahead of. Damn. All right, Riri. I see you. Okay.
Yeah, I only know her early 2000s. You know the hits when she was coming up.
Upon the replay and shit.
Maybe before that, like
Oh yeah, early 2000s.
Umbrella and
No, Umbrella's after. Ponder Replay is like her first hit.
yeah, Please Don't Stop the Music.
Mm-hmm.
Those be on repeat.
Mm.
But like I literally know like nothing else of hers. I
I
might have
got
to check this one out. John Coltrane.
that's like way before our time. I don't know. I don't know if I could
Yeah,
fully
just looking
speak
at the
on.
album cover. I know
Yeah,
this is old timey. The Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street.
was never a big Rolling Stones guy, man. I mean, again, older rock, but like it just wasn't. I don't know. They never really did anything for me. You know what I'm saying? Mick Jagger, none of them. I don't
Mm,
know.
mm. Guns N' Roses, Appetite for
Definitely,
Destruction.
definitely more Guns N' Roses. This is the whatchamacallit album, but I can't think of the song. But Guns N' Roses is great. I definitely listened to them way more than I did Rolling Stones. So,
Mm. Prince.
there you are, bro. Um, it's- so y'all don't
Prince got
understand
like
this. No, 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 no. I gotta speak on this real quick. Uh, you don't understand. This man with the former haircut he used to have and everything. This man looked like Prince. That ass. Y'all don't understand. We'll get an old
yeah,
picture and put it up in one of the pods.
eighth
Um,
grade. No, fuck. I don't think pictures exist. But
they do. I
eighth
know they
grade,
do. Ask
I
your
had a
mom.
mullet.
Whatever.
I was just growing my first mustache.
This motherfucker was pure Purple Rain. Like it wasn't even. He used to be in
Oh,
my phone as Prince, but
nah, cringe. I don't like those
cringe
songs.
nothing. Nope.
But see, the thing is, like, Prince got like 30 fucking albums.
And
And
there's still
so,
more in the vault. Like
and I tried like getting some. My household was always Michael Jackson. Like, I never really heard Prince.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until, I grew up and people started saying all the time that I look like Prince that, once I became an adult and had Spotify, I started to try to get familiar with his catalog.
Prince over
Um,
Michael.
but I have listened to this album and I really do like this one above others.
That's fair.
Kate Bush,
Uh, sure.
you
I'm
too.
not. Bye. You ain't gonna force your album on people's phones like that.
Yeah, I was just about to say they will forever have smoke because of that.
Yeah, for real.
Beastie Boys,
I love Beastie Boys, man. I love me some Beastie Boys all day, every day. So
Drake,
bye. I don't. I don't.
Take
I don't.
Care.
I don't speak on pedophiles.
The thing is, we talked a lot of Drake last pod, but this being this high up on the list, like it intrigues me. I'm like, oh, maybe I should get
I mean,
familiar.
they put it above Get Rich or Die Trying. I mean, that's crazy to me, but
Yeah,
sure, sure.
Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Uh, I mean, I see Bob Marley is one of those artists I've always kicked myself for not like actually diving into and listening to more, man. Because like his rhythms and shit like that, man. Every Bob Marley song I've ever heard, man. Like it's just a different vibe. Like you know reggae, all the other kind of music, but like Bob is just Bob. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Mm,
I gotta dive more into Bob Marley.
mm. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Bjork. Yeah, it's like Bjork or some shit like that. Yeah. Cool. Alright.
Stevie
Stevie
Wonder.
Wonder. Yeah, see, I don't know. I think Stevie Wonder was never really my sound, and it wasn't because like, yeah, obviously he's, way before our time, but like, you know,
Mm.
I think my favorite song is Superstition, but like I don't know. But I definitely like to see Stevie, you know, couple other artists I gotta put up on that list of just vibing one day all day and just listen to their shit.
Talking Heads.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm playing.
Janet Jackson.
Oh shit, Janice is high. Okay. Shit. Control. I know Control was always talked about as being like her best album ever.
Mm.
Oh, Gemini Outcast. Oh, Outcast. You want to talk about a duo that don't miss? Name me one bad Outcast song.
I
Exactly.
really got to do my homework on them. I've heard what's their first album? It's got like that long ass title. I think Players Ball is on it. Is that what it's called? But I've only ever heard that album in full, and probably just once. And then
Mhm,
like I just know like other hits of theirs. I know the Rosa Parks song, which I know is on this album, I think.
mhm.
Um I love that song, but I really gotta get more familiar and do my homework on them. Especially because people be putting Andre 3000 up there in, like, the all-time ranks when talking hip hop artists,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I really gotta get more familiar.
For real. Love Outkast.
Aretha Franklin.
Great voice. I don't listen to music like that, but I'm sure she up there for a reason.
Yeah. Illmatic.
Illmatic. Oh, great, great. The pure hip hop. Just this. Look, what's that lyric that J Cole has? He was like, was it oh my God, what's it from? Where he says Tupac, something like the long lines like Tupac's God and like Nas wrote the Bible. Like I love that
Oh,
line
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because like lyrically, pound for pound to this day, I think lyrically Nas is like uh, just at least number two.
Mm,
Like Nas, still to this day, what he released was that album he released a couple years ago was still top tier. So good. Now Illmatic though is like such a classic, man. So good. So good.
yeah. I've slept on Nas too much. Like, I still be hearing people say, like, "Yo, he still got it today," and I'm like, "Dang, really?" Like,
Especially somebody lyrical like you, man. Like, trust me,
yeah,
dive into Nas, man. Like, dude, he puts
yeah,
together shit. You're like, wait, what? Like,
yeah. He's one of those dudes where it's like, I never heard nothing I didn't like, but I don't
mm,
know why, I just haven't, followed, you know what I mean?
he's my brother Sal's favorite MC. Like, he's the one that introduced me to Nas.
Mhm.
I
And, like,
love.
didn't he write this album when he was, like, 17 or some shit?
Yeah, dude.
Which is nuts.
Illmatic is crazy. So good.
Carole King,
Yeah, sure.
Wu-Tang Clan,
I mean,
36 Chambers.
36, dude. Wu Tang. I was gonna make a joke before that, like we were like, oh, who's ahead of this album? And I was like, let's just the whole Wu Tang discography. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what hip hop albums deserve to be that high, but yeah,
Yeah, I've heard this one. I haven't, again, done my homework and listened to other stuff of theirs.
love Wu Tang. Wu Tang is so good. Ask Angel about Wu Tang. He loves Wu Tang.
Oh, word.
Oh yeah, dude. When we was younger, man, there was times he would just listen to Wu Tang. I swear to God.
Beyonce
Beyonce.
by Beyonce.
Beyonce. I mean, not much to say about
36.
her, man. Shit. I feel like we're gonna see more Beyonce on here, but yeah,
So
phenomenal.
far so far, it has only been one album per artist.
Oh, that's true. Maybe not then. Okay, I'm more curious
Yeah.
about this now. Okay.
No Eminem show, uh, no other Prince.
Yeah, right.
The Clash,
I listen to the Clash like that. I mean, so
Public Enemy.
wow.
It takes a nation of millions to hold us back.
I mean, great album, obviously. I can't say I've listened to it like that, but I mean, Public
Mm.
Enemy. You know.
From what I know, I think this is just like one of the earliest songs that earliest albums that was really conscious,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know enough. Radiohead.
Radiohead. Okay. I listen to Radiohead. I listen to Radiohead. I just again don't know too much like that, but I do enjoy Radiohead. So Ready to
Ready to
Die.
Die.
Wow. A lot higher than Pac too. It's crazy.
Yeah, by some
Mm,
tens.
mm.
Again, I gotta do my homework on this. I've
Damn,
never
bro.
listened to this album
Even
fully.
even Biggie, man. Damn. I love Biggie. Yeah. I've always gone back and forth. Like, I mean, obviously, people love to debate Biggie and Pac, but Biggie to me, I don't know. Lyrically, I love the shit he put together. I don't know what it is. His like to be honest, like the flavor to his shit. Like, I don't know. It was just
Hmm.
I don't know, addictive, I guess. But yeah.
Alanis Morissette,
I don't listen to Atlantis like that, man. Like I've heard her shit. I enjoy her. Billie Eilish
Billie
at
Eilish.
30. Really, Apple? Sound like somebody a deal of some sort. I know I like Billie. Billie, I got no hate for Billie. I'll be honest.
Mm,
You know, I don't know. She seems genuine. Her music just seems it's different. Um, I don't think I've heard a song that misses so far with her. So
uh,
yeah, I respect Billie. So
there is the one song of hers that I really like. I can't even remember the title.
uh,
Uh,
her
but
shit's
it's
just
like, oh, I think it's Everything I Wanted. I think that's the name of it.
oh okay yeah, I know the
Yeah,
song.
I really love that one, but that's all I know.
Her her rhythms are just infectious, to be honest.
Mm,
Um, A Tribe Called Quest. Okay. The Low End Theory. I've always Tribe has always been like a it's been harder for me to get into Tribe. It's like kind of like that Common argument too, you know what I mean? Like I love
mm,
Common and I love Tribe, but like some of their like I guess I'm more into like the East Coast style, best way I can put it.
mm,
Like I remember somebody asking me one time, like, "Oh, Tribe or Wu Tang," and I'm like, I think I can consistently listen to more Wu Tang than I can
mm,
Tribe. Tribe is just too calm-ish all the time for me. I can't fully listen
mm.
to that all the time. I'm too anxious, you know what I mean? I can't. But I do love
uh,
Tribe, so but
Pink Floyd.
never really listened to Pink like that, man. Pink Floyd is I don't know. I mean, that's iconic. I know the album's iconic, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely it's one of them it's one of them albums I know if, like, I just, let Kate have her way one day, she just gonna, you know, this is gonna
Mm.
be one of the albums she just plays, you know what I mean? So
I think Squad really be riding for Pink Floyd.
oh,
Like
yeah,
he keep
facts.
a heavy rotation. Led
Led
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin too. Uh, I was never the biggest fan of Led Zeppelin. I don't know if it's I don't know. Their sound to me was just a little I can't explain it. Wasn't the biggest fan, but
Mm.
nah, not that they're bad. I mean, they're phenomenal.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yay, I love you. I do. Mm. If they are truly doing one album per artist, I don't know if this should have been it. I'll be honest.
Word?
Yeah,
I've
I don't
I
know.
feel like it could really go either way. Like a lot he's put out a lot of like just consistently great stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. I think this is when I started falling off with him. I'll be
Mm,
honest. So I don't know. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know. I don't know. I think I'm just such a lover of late registration. I don't know why, but
mm.
yeah.
I kinda like fell off with him after 808s because I just it was just saturated with autotune. I
Hmm.
do love I do love like tracks 1 through 7, and then like I don't like the second half of the album. Uh, um,
Fair.
so like I think this was the very next one he put out, and I just slept on it, and it wasn't until literally a fucking decade later where I tuned into this one, and I was like, "Fuck, I slept on this for all these years." I'm like, "This shit is so good," and people, argue that it's his best one. If you said this was his best, or Graduation, or fucking any of his first 3, like, dude didn't miss with his
That's fair to say.
beginning
Hmm.
triple. But yeah, I ain't mad at it. Miles Davis,
Yeah, I mean, again,
definitely before our time.
yeah, for sure, for
David
sure.
Bowie,
David Bowie. Okay. If I was oh yeah, okay, I know that album. Okay, but now you can go to the next one.
Daft Punk,
Daft Punk,
Discovery.
really? 23. Holy shit. I didn't see that coming at all. I mean, they make some like club bangers, but like I don't know. It's hard to
Mm,
say. I just I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater on like, whatchamacallit, dubstep and shit like that, but like I don't know.
uh,
It's hard to say
yeah,
with Daft Punk.
techno stuff. I
Techno
mean,
shit, yeah.
a lot of it can sound the same if it's just, like, on the radio and you only hear it in passing, like, you're not paying attention.
Yeah,
Um, I think it's hard for stuff from that type of genre to stand out, but
right.
they have a lot of, their early hit singles were all very distinct in sound.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen,
I'm not a big Bruce fan. A lot of people love him. I'm not a big fan of him, but and I'm from
the
Jersey, so
Beatles.
Revolver, okay. I do like the Beatles. I'm not a Beatles hater by any means. Again, if it's one album per artist, I'm a little. I'm not too shocked they're 21. I mean, it's you sure people could argue they should be higher, but
Mm,
again, we're going by album, not by artist. So
mm. The Beach Boys.
I'm sure I'm sure my my mom, my dad would agree with you here for sure.
Alright,
I
well,
listen to the
we in the
Beach
top
Boys.
20.
Oh,
19,
the Chronic,
Tronic.
solid album though. I mean, yeah. I mean, I didn't know it was gonna be this far apart from some others that we saw, but like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm with it. I rock with it. I agree.
I definitely gotta hear this again, cause first time I heard it, what I remember is just a lot of it to me was just, like, high-pitched synths, like, it was just a lot of high-pitched sounds, I really wasn't rocking with it, I'm probably in a minority. I think 2001 is a better album, or at least,
Okay,
I enjoy listening to it more,
I got you.
but, I understand its place here. Taylor Swift, 1989.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, I like Taylor, but like, I don't know. She just it's just too much anymore. I can't. I don't know. But sure.
Yeah, this is Taylor's version. People be clowning on her lately because she got, like, a acoustic version, a live concert version, a deluxe this and that version of, like, every album, and she's just, like,
She knows how to make money.
just trying to eat numbers
Yeah.
on streaming. Marvin Gaye, what's going on?
I'm sure it's phenomenal and pretty sexual, I'm sure.
I I
Uh,
I love Marvin Gaye. I haven't listened to a full album of his. As Apple was putting these out 10 at a time, a lot of people were really expecting to have this at number 1,
really?
but yeah,
Huh, okay.
number 17 though. I definitely should play this front to back sometime. Joni Mitchell,
Mitchell. Not sure on this one actually. Adele.
Adele,
I'm an Adele
21.
fan. I'm an Adele fan for sure. I have this album. I'll be real with you. I own it on CD somewhere. I think Adele is phenomenal. I think she's one of the best artists of our generation. She's still thriving. Yeah, I'm not surprised by this at all. I agree with it. So
And to my knowledge, like literally everything she's put out is solo, like no features and nothing.
yeah, she's great. Great.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I definitely also someone I gotta do my homework on.
Oh, for sure. Great voice. Bob
Bob
Dylan.
Dylan.
I haven't listened to enough of Bob Dylan, but every song I've ever heard from him, like I love it. So yeah,
Mm,
I definitely got that more than Bob Dylan. The
The
Blueprint,
Blueprint.
the first one, The Blueprint. I mean, solid. I do agree, one of the best rap albums of all time. Love Jay. I know I shitted on Magna Carta and 444, but Blueprint, I mean, speaks for itself. And we know that
And
we go ahead.
doesn't it have like over 20 tracks and shit?
It's
Like
crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. Great album.
it's crazy because like he really has like the Black Album is also like just classic no misses,
The Black Album is my favorite Jay-Z album. I
Yeah.
love the Black Album.
But they put this one, as his best.
Yeah.
Above
Nah,
Illmatic.
that's fine. That's fine.
Radiohead.
Oh, Radiohead again. See, no, that's another Radiohead's.
Oh, this is
That's
they were on here already.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, which I've heard nothing but good things about that album. So, Fleetwood Mac. I mean, obviously, obviously, people love Fleetwood. Everybody's heard Fleetwood. I mean, it's
I probably
whatever.
have, I just don't know it.
Yeah, you've heard Fleetwood Mac. Trust me. But
All right, top 10 here.
there we
Beyonce
go.
again.
Becky,
Lemonade.
Becky with the good hair. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised it's Lemonade. I don't know. I expected like an earlier Beyonce album, but yeah. I mean, she's top 10. I expected her to be in top 10.
Definitely got to do my homework. Nirvana.
Okay. Okay. See, I always argue back and forth. I like Nirvana. Don't get me wrong. Kate loves Nirvana. I always argue back and forth on them. It's the more that grunge type,
Mm,
punk rock, and I gotta say, it's a solid album. I always go back and forth on them. Like, was it just like more of like a for the time kind of thing, a nostalgia thing for some people? But I mean, honestly,
mm,
Kurt Cobain wrote some good music. So yeah, I don't disagree with it. So
yeah. Amy Winehouse. Back to Black.
eh, I mean, I want to listen to more Amy. I mean, I heard Back to Black is a phenomenal album. People have always talked about this album being so damn great. So I guess it deserves a spot. I mean, I can't say much on it.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Damn, that's crazy, Drake.
Number 7 all
Oh,
time.
not oh god. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm wondering. I mean, there's only like 6 to go. I mean, I doubt we're gonna see the Pimp a Butterfly, but
Um,
yeah, a solid album. I mean, up and down. Should have won the Grammy that year. No disrespect to my man Macklemore, but like, yeah, great album, front to
yeah.
back, good.
This has been in nonstop rotation. It's just like you're listening to a whole movie with this album.
Facts.
It just takes you for a ride. You're in there, like, the song Pure Pressure, like you feel like you're in the car with them, and like
Facts.
you feel the anxiety of like your homies are about to commit some crime and you ain't really rolling with it, but you're there. So,
Yeah.
it's
So,
it takes you on a ride, and the man's a great storyteller and so
oh yeah,
lyrical. I mean, we've said enough about him, but to put
for
this
sure.
above, I mean, really, again, like with Kanye, you could go either way with any of his first 3 albums, and, like, I would not argue.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder,
No, again.
Songs in the Key of Life.
I mean, again, I trust in the people for Stevie Wonder. I mean, it's Stevie Wonder. So yeah, I'll be entering the top 5. Frank Ocean
Frank
Blonde, man. I mean, people. Okay, I don't know if you speak to people who are Frank Ocean fans, but like they'll die on this hill all day. And honestly, Frank is makes great music, man. Phenomenal voice, great music writer. I mean, I'm sh- I, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Frank is great. So
I I definitely gotta hear more of him. I only know because I think he sang the hook to what's the first song on Watch the Throne? It's like, "What's the king to a god?" Or,
yeah.
how that goes. Like, I'm like, "Oh, that's Frank Ocean." Like, that's when I first got familiar with his voice. But a lot of people were saying I don't know anything of his discography, but a lot of people were saying, like, uh, his other album, Orange something, like, is
Yeah.
way better than Blonde.
I
They were
favor
shocked that, like, picked this one.
I do favor the other one, but this one just I it was more recent, I believe.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean people overall love Blonde, but yeah. I mean both albums are great. So, but I you would like Frank. I can almost guarantee you would like
Mm.
Frank Ocean. So,
Purple Rain,
there it goes.
number 4.
Purple Rain, there you go, baby. There it is.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
When Doves Cry, that's one of the
Oh
greatest
yeah.
songs of all
Oh
time.
yeah, dude. When Doves Cry is such a great song. Such a great song. And that album cover, I'm sorry. Like you see it on t-shirts, that's one of the most badass album covers to this day. To this day. Like that. Oh, come on, man. I don't care if you like 4'6", man. That shit is dope. There it
Abbey
is.
Road,
Abbey
The
Road.
Beatles.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
The thing is, like, not even just the music, but, like, the album cover, this and the Nirvana one,
Mhm.
what is it? Nevermind. Like, everybody knows
Iconic.
those album covers.
Iconic.
Like you said, it just be on all these T-shirts and, like, this
People
the
wall. Yeah.
walking
Peop
down this road, like, it's been so parodied,
Yeah, it's been like reenacted. Everybody's like, done it and taking pictures. Like everybody's redone it. Like, but
Mm.
yeah, I already know these next 2 are. I kinda peeked at them when they were, on the side there, but Thriller, of course,
Pe
phenomenal, obviously.
People really expected this to be number 1.
Fair.
First of all, like, I expected, certain artists to show up more than once. Like, I would put, like, maybe 3 or 4 of Michael Jackson's albums up there, but,
Right.
when this was brought up in conversation, it was like, "Oh, yeah, obviously." Like, the entire album is like a 9-track run of 0 misses, all hit singles, like,
Yeah,
you know, still to this day doing numbers,
that's true.
but number 1 though.
Yeah, okay, so, again, I don't listen to Lauryn Hill like that, but I've always heard about this album always being talked about being up there, always. So I can't say this is a surprise to me at all.
Mm.
Again, Lauryn Hill, I would definitely like to listen to more of her. I've heard songs from Lauryn Hill, obviously, but yeah, I'm not surprised by this top 5 specifically, this top 10 specifically. So, yeah, I I mean, not
Yeah,
much
I
to say
I
about it.
I probably know 2 songs off this. Again, I should do my homework on it. But a lot of people were really tight and arguing of the number 1 and 2 here. They're like, This is definitely top 5 of all time, but number 1, like,
Of course.
belongs to Thriller." But the thing is, once they finally put out the top 10, Apple gave Lauryn Hill, like, an actual, like, physical award of some sort. And so it was like, "Oh, well, clearly she's alive," so they wanted to give something to somebody, so that's probably why they put her at number 1.
I
But
got you.
but yeah, not mad at this.
Nah,
Um,
not mad at the top 5 at all, to be honest with you.
Definitely gotta do homework, but let me stop this. All right. Well, it's been long enough. I can't believe we got through all that.
Yeah, right.
Uh, Lots of good discussion, I think, from goats of different goats of different
Eras.
things, music, wrestling. I thought this was a strong episode. I thank you, my
Mhm.
brother, in here.
Always.
That shall be the show, peoples. If you're watching on YouTube, you see the social media handles on screen, or it'll be in the description. If you're listening on audio, you'll find it. The Low Blow Show.
All right,
Uh,
mate.
Immortal Storm with your brother Nick. And so I suppose after this, I'm just gonna release shit out of order, like, because we have so many hours of content
True.
recorded.
True. True.
Uh, we talked a lot of Dragon Ball Z when Akira Toriyama passed, so
Mm.
I'll probably release that as episode 3,
Okay.
and we shall continue week to week. Follow us if you like what you hear. Blah blah blah. Typical outro of your typical show. Thank you for listening.
Right. All right, y'all. Peace.